So in a previous lecture, uh, we were discussing about the introduction to endocrinology, and in which we had discussed about the general groups, chemical messengers, or the classes of hormones, and then discussed about the mode of general mechanism of action, and about their secretion, and in general about the target sites. So today we are going to start the topic, the hormone synthesis and the hormone secretion. How hormones are synthesized, and about their secretion into the bloodstream or the surrounding fluid. So before this, side by side, uh, so I'm going to discuss about once again about an idea about an hour about and can an hour overview about the chemical messengers or the classes of the chemical messengers. So the hormones are generally classified into the four major groups. So number one are known as the protein hormones, which are also known as the peptide hormones, are also known as polypeptide hormones, or they are also known as protein hormones. And the second one are known as amino acid derived hormones, and they are also known as biogenic amines, are also known as amine hormones. So the amino acid derived hormones and the protein hormone both are chemically composed of amino acids. But and the third one group of the chemical messengers or the hormones is known as the steroid hormones. And the steroid hormones are uh, mainly those are derived from the precursor molecule which is known as cholesterol. So the cholesterol derived hormones are known as steroid hormones. And the next are the fourth class of the chemical messengers, which are known as eicosanoids. Eicosanoids are derived from the fatty acids. So both steroid hormones and the eicosanoids are actually lipid in nature. So first two, protein hormones and the amino acid derived hormones, are composed of the amino acids, and the third and fourth, which are included the steroid hormones and the eicosanoids, they are derived from uh, uh, actually lipid in nature, and derived steroid hormones are derived from precursor cholesterol molecules, and the eicosanoids are derived from the fatty acid molecules. So the hormones. So the protein hormone, which are also known as the peptide hormones, are also known as the polypeptide hormones. They may be compromised, and as T are up to 200 or more than 180 amino acids. For example, the smallest peptide hormone, which consists of the three amino acids, is known as the TRH, or the thyrotropin releasing hormone. The thyrotropin releasing hormone is an example of peptide hormone. So it consists of just three amino acids, and it's known as the thyrotropin releasing hormone. This thyrotropin releasing hormone is secreted by the hypothalamus. And next is the another example of the hormones. For example, the protein hormones may consist of up to 200 amino acids, or maybe consist of up to, for example, as the gonadotropins. Gonadotropins are consist of up to 180 or more than 180 amino acids. So the gonadotropins include the FSH, which are known as the follicle stimulating hormones, and the luteinizing hormones. So both are consist of more than 180 amino acids. So they are consist of the larger proteins. Protein hormones are actually included into the largest group of the chemical messengers, from which the smallest included hormones. Those are consist of just a few amino acids, or as many as up to 200 amino acids. So peptide hormones may be composed of linear in the form of a linear chain, or they may contain a ring structure. So for example, in case of a linear chain, the So in case of the linear chain, the alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone is an example of the linear chain structure. So melanocyte stimulating hormones are the example of the protein hormones or the peptide hormone that consist of a linear chain structure. The MSH are the melanocyte stimulating hormones. And then some are contain a ring structure, as in case of the neurohypophyseal hormones, for example, oxytocin or the vasopressin. They consist of a ring structure. So some protein hormones consist of or the composed of a linear chain structure, and some containing a ring-like structure, as in case of oxytocin or as in case of vasopressin.
मैम आपकी आवाज बहुत कट रही है.
Is there any disruption in my voice?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Protein hormones composed of one or more than one polypeptide chains. Can you hear my voice clearly?
No, ma'am.
आपको आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रही? Peptide hormones may be composed of a linear chain or contain. अभी भी आवाज आपको क्लियर नहीं आ रही?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, wait for a few minutes. We will have started about protein hormones. So the protein hormones consist of composed of amino acids. They may be as few as 3 amino acids or as many as 180 or more in as in certain cases certain pituitary gonadotrophins. Peptide hormones may be composed of linear chain, or they may be contain a ring-like structure. Peptide protein hormones composed of one or more than one polypeptide chains. Is the next. So protein hormones cannot pass through the cell membranes due to their size and their water soluble nature. So that's why the protein hormone cannot pass through the plasma membranes, and their receptors are attached are located at plasma membrane. Protein hormones are the most numerous types or the largest class of the chemical messengers, and containing different type of hormones. And protein hormones are secreted by different glands, as the protein hormones are secreted by hypothalamus, or they are secreted by the pituitary glands. Protein hormones are secreted by pancreas, as the insulin or the glucagons are the example of the polypeptide or the protein hormone. Same like that, the releasing factors such are the gonadotropin releasing factors as the thyrotropin releasing factors are all such chemical messengers are included into protein hormones or the polypeptide hormones, growth hormones, gonadotrophins, thyrotrophins, they all are included into the polypeptide hormones or hormones, those are protein in nature. Next is about the synthesis of the protein hormones. So the protein, as the hormones are protein in nature, so their synthesis is actually like as the gene expression. So the polypeptide hormones synthesize in the same manner as any other protein. So the DNA in the nucleus is transcribed to messenger RNA, as in case of the gene expression. The first is the transcription and then the translation. So in transcription, the DNA in the nucleus is transcribed into messenger RNA, and then in the process of translation, this messenger RNA is translated into a particular kind of protein by ribosomes, which are present in cytoplasm. So once the protein is synthesized at ribosomes, then this protein is processed or it's modified inside the Golgi apparatus, and then stored in the form of secretory vesicles or in the form of secretory granules. So the protein which is synthesized after the gene expression at the ribosome, then it's transported to the Golgi apparatus, where it's modified or processed and then stored into the granules. So certain kind of modifications or changes occur inside the Golgi apparatus or inside the secretory granules. So number one are the cleavage reactions, and the number two are the addition of carbohydrate groups. So what it means by the cleavage reactions? So in certain cases, the protein hormones are synthesized in the form of pro-hormones or in the form of pre-pro hormones. So the actual hormone must contain some additional segments. So during the cleavage reactions, so the additional or the side products or the additional segments of the actual hormone is cleaved or removed from the polypeptide chain. And in case of the addition of the carbohydrate, in certain cases, the special kind of the carbohydrate groups are attached to the or a special kind of functional groups are associated to a polypeptide chain along with the amino acids. So they are modified they are modified into particular kind of chemical messenger. So in synthesis, the synthesis of the protein hormone is same as the synthesis of any other protein. So the synthesis of the protein hormone involves the gene expression, as both the process of the transcription and the translation are involved in the synthesis of the protein hormones. Then after the synthesis at the ribosome, then they are transported into the Golgi apparatus, and where they are, and then they are secreted from the Golgi apparatus in the form of secretory vesicles or the in the form of secretory granules. In case inside the Golgi apparatus or the secretory granules, they are modified through the cleavage reactions or the addition of certain functional group, as the addition of the carbohydrate residues. So such secretory granules are about the secretion of the protein hormones. So the secretory granules released by the process of exocytosis. So as you know about the exocytosis in which the secretory granules fuses to the plasma membrane and discharge their content to the external environment. So when the membranes of the granules fuses with the membrane of the cell, this causes the removal of the content of the secretory vesicles to the surrounding environment. This process, or the process of the exocytosis, is actually initiated by, or the triggered by, or the stimulated by the calcium ions. So when the elevated level of the calcium ions inside the cell cytoplasm, this causes the discharge of the secretory granules or the discharge of the secretory vesicles. So the calcium ions actually plays an important role, or acts as a signal molecules for such, as we are discussing about the protein hormones. So the protein hormones, due to their soluble nature and about the size of the protein hormones, they just reside to the plasma membrane. When they act on the target site or a particular cell, they restricted to the plasma membrane. So their message is transferred inside the cell through a second chemical messenger. So here the calcium ions acts as a second chemical messenger. So when the level of the calcium ions elevated level of the calcium ions causes the exocytosis of the secretory granules. So the polypeptide hormone release is controlled by, regulated by the regulating secretions rather than the synthesis. So control of the polypeptide hormones not depends upon their synthesis, that depends upon their secretion. So if more protein hormones are secreted by the secretory granules, so more new polypeptide hormones are synthesized. So if they are not, so that is not depends upon the synthesis, that actually depends upon their secretion. So as you can see in the figure, so here is the nucleus. So from the nucleus, the DNA, and then the DNA is transcribed in the form of the messenger RNA. Then this messenger RNA comes outside, and at the this messenger RNA attached to the ribosome, and the ribosomes are bounding to the rough endoplasm, the surface of the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So here the hormones are synthesized, and they are synthesized in the form of pre-pro hormone. So after the cleavage reaction, now the hormone is transformed into the pro hormone. So a preparatory chain is removed by the cleavage reaction. Certain kinds of the enzymes, those are responsible for such kind of the reaction, such as the endonucleases or some other enzyme, peptidases or some other enzymes, those are involved in the special kind of the enzymes, those are involved in the cleavage reactions. So the pre-hormones is now known as the pro-hormone. This pro-hormone is transported to the Golgi apparatus. Then this packaging of this pro-hormones and further modifications occurs here in the Golgi apparatus, or in case of the secretory vesicles or the secretory granules. So further modification is actually the addition of the functional groups as the addition of the carbohydrate residues. So now inside the secretory vesicles, before its discharge or the exocytosis, the hormone is transformed into its active form. So now it's known as a hormone. So synthesis, so most of the hormones are synthesized as a pre-pro hormone. Then they are after the cleavage reaction, they are transformed into the pro hormones. And when their further modifications occurred inside the secretory granules or the secretory vesicles, then they are transformed into the true hormones. And then their secretions are their exocytosis along the plasma membrane. So the exocytosis is causes by the entrance of the calcium ions inside the cell. So it causes the discharge of the secretory granules, or the discharge of the protein hormones, or the exocytosis of the protein hormone to the surrounding intracellular fluid. So next is the steroid hormones. So the steroid hormones, as I have discussed earlier, that the steroid hormones are derived from the precursor molecules, cholesterols, and they are synthesized by the cells which are known as steroidogenic cells. And these cells are located, are present in adrenal cortex and the gonads. So the gonads and the adrenal cortex are the sites, are the tissues where the steroidogenic cells are present. And steroidogenic cells are responsible for the synthesis of or the production of the steroid hormones. So first are the adrenal steroidogenic cells. Those are located at the adrenal cortex. And adrenal cortex cells, which are known as the adrenal steroidogenic cells, produces the hormones, steroid hormones. Those are known as corticosteroids. And two kinds of the corticosteroid. So one is known as glucocorticoids and other is known as mineralocorticoids. So the adrenal steroidogenic cells, those are present in adrenal cortex, produces two types of chemical corticosteroids. One are known as glucocorticoids and other are known as mineralocorticoids. So the next is structure which is responsible for the production of the steroid hormones are known as gonads. So the gonads produces three different types of hormones are the steroid hormones. So one are known as the androgens and estrogens and progestins. So androgens, estrogens and the progestins are produced by the gonads and they all are steroid in nature and derived from the cholesterol. Steroid hormones are small as compared to the protein or the polypeptide hormones. They are not water soluble, they are fat soluble hormones. They can pass through the plasma membrane, but they must circulate bounded in the bounded form to the plasma proteins. So since they are insoluble in blood, so as in case of the protein hormones, they cannot pass through the plasma membrane due to their solubility nature and due to their size. But the steroid hormones are smaller in size and they are fat soluble, so they can pass through the plasma membrane or the cell membrane, and but they circulate when they circulate inside the bloodstream. When they flow or they circulate inside the blood, they must bound to the plasma protein. But as in case of the protein hormones, they are not bounded to the plasma proteins. They are as they are water soluble, so they dissolve inside the blood streams and then move towards the target site. So the steroid hormones are insoluble in blood. Steroid hormones are secreted by certain glands, as they are secreted by the ovaries and the testes, which are known as the gonads, and the steroid hormones are secreted by the adrenal gland, and they are secreted by the adrenal cortex. As you can see in the figure, the structure of the steroid hormones, they have ring structures, and the basic structure of the cholesterol is present in all type of the steroid hormones. So here are the examples of the cortisol, which is secreted by the adrenal cortex, and there are also the example of the aldosterone, which is also the example of which is also secreted by the adrenal cortex. And the number third is the testosterone, which is secreted by the male gonads, and same the next is the estradiol, which is also secreted by the gonads. So they all have the ring structure, and the basic structure in all four hormones or the chemical messenger is cholesterol. So they are cholesterol derived hormones. So at first the cholesterol, which is maybe ingested from from some diet source, and then so the steroid hormones are synthesized from the enzymatic processing of the common precursor molecule cholesterol, which is in turn primarily, so the cholesterol is primarily available from the fats which is ingested in the diet. So after that, the cholesterol is transported or conveyed to the conveyed by the bloodstream and transported to into the cytoplasm, and then this from the cytoplasm, the cholesterol is delivered to the mitochondria. So mitochondria and so the cytoplasm and the mitochondria are the sites where the sequential modification of the cholesterols are made by the steroidogenic enzymes, and so the steroidogenic enzymes are present in both mitochondria and the cytoplasm. So such enzymes, those are present in mitochondria and the cytoplasm, they are responsible for special kind of the modifications in the cholesterols, and then from the cholesterols, first the chemical messenger is known as the pregnenolone. Then the pregnenolone is transformed into the progesterone, and then it depends upon the presence of the steroidogenic enzymes. So different types of steroidogenic enzymes are responsible of the various kind of the steroid hormones. So then they are transformed into the progesterones, and then they are transformed into the androgens. And the androgens included into the testosterones. Estrogens are also the estradiol. So if the steroidogenic cells are present in the adrenal cortex, so the adrenal cortex cells must contain the steroidogenic enzymes. Those are responsible for the synthesis of the glucocorticoids and the mineralocorticoids. So if the cells are if the steroidogenic enzymes are present in the process of the synthesis occurs in the adrenal cortex. If synthesis occurs in the adrenal cortex cells, then the steroidogenic cells or particular kind of the steroidogenic enzymes are present in the adrenal cortex cells, and such enzymes are responsible for the synthesis of glucocorticoids. For example, they are responsible for the synthesis of cortisols, and they are also responsible for the synthesis. They are also containing the steroidogenic enzyme for the synthesis of mineralocorticoid, for example, aldosterone. And if synthesis occurs inside the gonads, then the gonads must contain the steroidogenic enzymes for the synthesis of the testosterone, estrogen, and the progesterone. So next is about the secretion of the steroid hormones. So the steroid hormones are released immediately. So the rate of the release is determined by the rate of synthesis. So in this point is opposite to the secretion of the protein hormones. In case of the protein hormones, the rate of the synthesis is not determined by the rate of the release is not determined by the rate of the synthesis. But in case of steroid hormones, the rate of the release is determined by the rate of synthesis, as they are not stored like the protein hormones inside the Golgi vesicles or the secretory granules. So their release depends upon the synthesis of the pregnenolone, which is actually a pro-hormone in case of the steroid hormone. So their synthesis is not determined by their release is determined by the rate of synthesis, particularly the synthesis of the pregnenolone. So pregnenolone is actually the intermediate stage of the synthesis of steroid hormones. So the next category or the class of the chemical messengers are known as the bromogenic amines, are also known as amino acid derived hormones, are also known as amine hormones. So the amine hormones are actually found by by changing the structure or the modification in the structure of the amino acids, or by altering the structures of amino acids. So the hormones which are synthesized by are found by altering the structures of the amino acids are known as amine hormones. Amine hormones are secreted by produced by the various glands, such as the thyroid gland, and as the thyroid gland produces the T3 and the T4 triiodothyronine and the tetraiodothyronine hormone, which are also known as the thyroxines. So the thyroxine is the example of thyroxines are the example. T3 and the T4 are the examples of amine hormones. So the next to the thyroid gland, another important gland which is known as the adrenal gland, and in the adrenal gland, the part of the adrenal gland which is known as the adrenal medulla. So adrenal medulla secretes or the releases produces the certain kind of the amine hormones, such as the adrenaline or the noradrenaline or the epinephrine or norepinephrine. They are produced by the adrenal medulla. So as we have discussed earlier, that the adrenal cortex is responsible for the synthesis of the steroid hormone, and the adrenal medulla is responsible for the synthesis of the formation of the amine hormones, and including the adrenaline or the noradrenaline or the nephrine or norepinephrine are included into the hormones which are produced by the adrenal medulla. And the next are the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus also secretes a certain kind of the biogenic amines, such as the dopamine, which is secreted by the hypothalamus, And dopamine is actually a kind of the neurotransmitter, and such as the glutamate, which is also a kind of the neurotransmitter, which is secreted by produced by the cells. Those are located in hypothalamus. And then another important biogenic amine, a hormone which is secreted by the pineal gland, and it's known as melatonin. So melatonin is also a chemical messenger, which is a hormone which is amine in nature, are derived from a derived from amino acid. So it's known as this chemical messenger which is secreted by the pineal gland is known as melatonin. So the amino acid derived hormones are categorized into two categories. One are known as the neurotransmitters. Those are secreted by hypothalamus particularly, and maybe there's some other regions, but mainly they are secreted by the cells. Those are present in the nervous system, particularly from the hypothalamus or from higher brain centers, and those are known as the neurotransmitters. Those are secreted by hypothalamus or some higher brain centers are neurotransmitters, and they are derived from the amino acids, and they are known as biogenic amines. And the others are known as the iodine containing hormones, and the iodine containing hormones are included into thyroxine, T3 and T4. The neurotransmitters include the dopamine, the GABA, serotonin, norepinephrine, and the glutamate. So they all are included into the list of the neurotransmitters which are secreted by the hypothalamus or some the higher brain centers. And then the T3 and the T4, the triiodothyronine and the tetraiodothyronine, are included into iodine containing hormones. So such hormones are derived from the amino acid, but they are different to the rest of the biogenic amine, as the T3 and the T4 containing an inorganic moieties associated with the organic structure of the amino acid, and this inorganic moiety is actually the iodine. So they contain the 3 iodine moieties, or the 3 iodine molecules in case of the T3, and in case of the T4 they contain the 4 iodine molecules along with the tyrosine amino acids. So T3 and the T4, which are known as the thyroxines, they are derived from the tyrosine amino acids. So here are the examples of the amino hormones, the structure of the amino hormone. So is the structure of the tyrosine amino acid. So by the association or by the addition of the iodine molecules to the previous the tyrosine precursor tyrosine amino acid, then it transformed into, by the addition of the iodine molecules, then it's transformed into T4 or the tetraiodothyronine or the thyroxine, and by the addition of the 3 iodine moieties, then it's transformed into T3 or the triiodothyronine. And then it's about the synthesis of the amine hormones. So first, the synthesis of the amine hormones, as the certain amine hormones, those containing the tyrosine as a precursor molecules. So they are derived from the precursor tyrosine amino acids, which including the thyroxine, T3, T4 are derived from the tyrosine amino acid, and the catecholamines, the noradrenaline and the adrenaline are also derived from the tyrosine amino acids. So tyrosine amino acid is a precursor molecule, the precursor amino acid for catecholamines, and the catecholamines are found by the adrenal medulla, and tyrosine amino acids also the precursor molecule in case of precursor component in case of thyroxine. T3 and T4 are also derived from the tyrosine amino acids. And then the tryptophan amino acid. Tryptophan amino acid is a precursor, serve as a precursor for the synthesis of the melatonin hormone, and melatonin hormone is synthesized by the pineal gland, or the released by the secreted by the pineal gland. So the melatonin contains a precursor unit which is known precursor subunit or the component which is known as the tryptophan. So as in case of the thyroxines, the both T3 and T4 involves the addition of the iodine moieties on the tyrosine residues contained within the proteinaceous substrate, which is known as the thyroglobulins. So the tyrosine contains within a proteinaceous substrate, which is known as thyroglobulins. So inside this thyroglobulin, tyrosine, there is an addition of the iodine components to the tyrosine residues or the tyrosine amino acids. And later on, after the addition of the iodine molecules to the tyrosine residues or the tyrosine amino acids, then the pairs of the resulting then it's known when the addition of the iodine to the tyrosine amino acid is now modified into the iodotyrosinase. It's known as the iodotyrosines. Iodotyrosines are linked by, are joined by the pairs of the resulting iodotyrosines are then joined by the ether linkage, and they're released from the initial proteinaceous substrate, which is known as thyroglobulin. And then they're yielding the active hormone, which containing either T3 or the T4. The synthesis of the iodine containing hormone occurs on the extracellular surface of the follicular cells of the thyroid. So T3 and T4 are secreted by the thyroid gland. So their synthesis occurs on the extracellular surface of the follicular cells of thyroid gland. So जो thyroid cell T3 T4 की, thyroxine की जो synthesis है, वो thyroid gland के जो surface cells हैं, those are known as the follicular cells. So उनमें ये synthesize होते हैं, and उन cells के अंदर वहाँ पे particularly thyroglobulins जो हैं, those are known as the substrate proteinaceous substrates, which are known as thyroglobulins. And thyroglobulins में tyrosines molecules are modified into iodotyrosines, and then pairs of iodotyrosines are joined by the ether linkage, and they are released from the thyroglobulins, and then they work as a functional triiodothyronine and the tetraiodothyronine hormones. And the rest of the protein hormones or the rest of the amine hormones, those are neurotransmitters, are synthesized same as and other one is the tryptophan. The tryptophan, the melatonin. Melatonin is also derived from the tryptophan amino acids inside the particular kind of cells. Those are present in case of pineal gland. And rest of the synthesis of the amine hormones, the rest of the amine hormones which are included, the neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are also the biogenic amines. These biogenic amines are not synthesized as the synthesis of the thyroxines. All the neurotransmitters are synthesized same like the synthesis of the protein hormones. So they are synthesized by the gene expression by the modification of the existing proteins. They are transformed by, they are synthesized by the gene expression, and they are further the modifications of the, they are transformed by the enzymatic modifications of the precursors within the axonal ending of the neurons. So the next group is known as eicosanoids. Eicosanoids are known as the fatty acid derivatives. So they are derived from the fatty acid molecules, and the most important class of the eicosanoids are the prostaglandins, and they are also include the thromboxans and the leukotrienes. They are named as the eicosanoids because they are derived from the fatty acid substrates, and particularly they are composed of the 20-membered fatty acid carbon skeleton, which is folded into a hairpin-like structure by incorporating a 5-member ring at the bend of a molecule. So the eicosanoids or the prostaglandins consist of the 20-membered fatty acid carbon skeleton, and they are synthesized by a fatty acid substrate, for example, the arachidonic acid. Arachidonic acid is a substrate from which the prostaglandins are synthesized, are derived, and they are synthesized within the membranes of the cells, and they are generally almost all cells synthesized the eicosanoids except the red blood cells. So all body cells except the red blood cells have ability are synthesizing the eicosanoids, and eicosanoids are the fatty acid derived, and particularly they are the fatty derived from the fatty acid substrate, for example the arachidonic acids, and they are synthesized within the membranes of the cells, and they are generally thought to act locally. So they act within the same tissue in which they are produced. So the eicosanoids act locally within the same tissues in which they are produced. And the next are the thromboxanes and the leukotrienes are related to the chemical messengers. Those play the significant roles in the certain kind of the physiological processes. And for example, their role in the contraction of the uterus, the ovulatory cyclicity, inflammation, and the fever. Mostly the prostaglandins are related to the inflammation, and almost all cells have ability to produce the prostaglandins, and prostaglandins are actually responsible for the inflammation. So the next is about the transport of the hormones. So once the hormones are synthesized inside the secretory, inside the endocrinal cells inside, and those endocrinal cells are particularly the part of any endocrine gland. So after their synthesis, then they are discharged into the surrounding fluid or into the bloodstream. So all hormones secreted from the endocrine glands are transported in the bloodstream or the blood or the surrounding fluid. So at first, we talk about the steroid hormones or the transport of the steroid hormones. So the steroid hormones and same like the thyroid hormones, both are lipid soluble, but the protein hormones are water soluble. So the steroid hormones and thyroid hormones, which are lipid soluble, they require a carrier protein to be transported in the blood in order to reach their target site. So the steroid hormones and thyroid hormones, when they are entered into the bloodstream, they do not move freely, but they must contain they must bound it to a carrier protein, and then they require a carrier protein for their transportation inside the bloodstream to reach their target cell. So the steroid hormones are not move freely inside the bloodstream, but the steroid hormone always bound to a carrier protein to reach the their target site or their target cell. So the next are the non-steroid hormones. So the non-steroid hormones tend to be water soluble. As such, they dissolve in the blood plasma, where they transport to their target cells. So the non-steroid hormones, such as the biogenic amines or the protein hormones, they are included into the non-steroid hormones. So all non-steroid hormones are actually included into the list of the hormones. The nature of the hormones, those are water soluble. So water soluble hormones, as such, they dissolve in the blood plasma, and from then they are transported to their respective target cells. Hopefully you people got some idea about the various classes of the chemical messengers, and then about an overview and generally about their synthesis, and about their discharge, and about the transportation of the hormones. That's all for today. Thank you so much.